The Warrior Vocation is undoubtedly my favourite in all of Dragon's Dogma too. And today I'll be sharing the build I use for playing solo without support pawns. Starting with the weapon skills, Heavenswood Sunder is a must. It has pretty similar knockdown power to Mountain Breaker, but does a lot more damage and has better reach. Mountain Breaker is great, but this build has over 1300 knockdown power already, so you don't really need it. Next, of course, who doesn't love seeing a fully charged Arc of Might crushing a griffin's skull? While it does take a long time to charge, Arc of Might will usually kill anything outright if you hit a weak spot. In Spirit is situational, but as a solo player it is a blessing. Gore Harpies are awful if you can't shoulder check them properly, especially if there are multiple of them. It's a rough time if you are getting stunned constantly. The next skill I take is Raising Sweep. This is great for dealing with large packs of enemies that are all piling on top of you. Alternatively, you could take Ravening Lunge if you want a goofy way to get around the map very quickly. Now for augments, we are focusing on boosting our survivability as much as possible. From rank 2 Fighter, we take Metal, a 30% increase to physical defense. From rank 2 Mage, we take Apotropaism, a 30% increase to magical defense. From rank 6 Sorcerer, we take Constancy, a 30% increase to knockdown resistance. Rank 9 in Warfare will give us Dynamism, which reduces the effect weight has on movement speed by 1 bar. For example, if you are an average weight, you will move at a lightweight speed. Heavy will move at average speed, and so on. If you don't have Warfare at rank 9 yet, you can take Thu instead, from rank 6 Fighter. From rank 4 in Thief, we take Gratification. Every time we kill an enemy, we regain 4% of our grey health. This doesn't sound like much, but it definitely adds up over time. Lastly, from rank 8 in Warrior, we take Dominance, which is a 15% increase to knockdown power. For our equipment, it is crucial that we upgrade using the Dwarven Smithing. This massively increases weapons' knockdown power and armor's knockdown resistance. This synergizes perfectly with our dominance and constancy augments. I will put links in the description of where to find the equipment I use. The video would be way too long if I explained all of that. Our best weapon is, without question, Dragon's Flight. It has the highest knockdown power in the game, on top of significantly increased damage against draconic species. If you don't have this weapon yet, you can use Cinderspine or Cyclopean Thunder until you get it. Otherwise, use whatever has the strongest knockdown power you can find. For the headpiece, I use the Laurel Circlet. Honestly, I just use it because I want to see my character's face. I didn't spend 2 hours making her look pretty just to cover her with a helmet. The Dominator's armour is, in my opinion, the best in the game. It has really good resistances and defences. If you don't have this yet, I generally suggest to go with whatever has the strongest knockdown resistance available to you. Similarly, the Vanguarders Greaves are, in my opinion, the best leg armour, due to their great resistances and knockdown resistance. I use 2 rings of Vehemence. These increase knockdown power by 100 each, plus a bit extra thanks to Outdominance augment. You could also use Rings of Triumph if you're worried about carry capacity, which is also an important thing to consider as a solo player. 2 Rings of Triumph would reduce the knockdown power by over 200 in exchange for 200 extra health and stamina and 10 extra carry capacity. It's up to you. Lastly, I want to talk about managing our inventory as a solo player. You don't have a support mage to heal you, cure your ailments, or buff your weapon with an element. This means we will need to carry a few Spelltomes with us to deal with enemies that are immune to physical damage like slimes. I usually carry 5 Winter's Path Tomes to cast High Frigga. and 3 Hymal Euphony tomes to enchant my weapon with ice. It's also a good idea to carry some wake stones. 2 is enough just in case you get overwhelmed by, I don't know, those fucking poisonous purple lizards in Batorol that somehow have the knockdown power of 100 drakes. Like seriously, it doesn't even make sense. A cyclops can sit on my head and I won't even flinch, or a drake can drop down from the sky on top of me and it wouldn't bother me. But God forbid one of these bastards pokes me twice with their stupid spear and now suddenly 1200 knockdown resistance means nothing. Anyway, enough of my ranting. Bullshit lizards aside, it's also important to carry curatives. Before you leave town, make sure you stock up on roborants for health and stamina recovery, as well as detoxifying decoctions in case you get poisoned by a harpy. Or a lizard.